because I'm in for doing the right thing. If he tell me to give them that money, knowing that they was not with me, and just let y'all know she's a scammer.
Okay. So that was Miss Kim. Okay, she's the owner of Sweetly Seasoned. And she says, if he tell me to give me the money, blah, blah, blah. And then she called the girl a scammer, right? The girl who blew the whistle and said, hey, we didn't get our money or any of that other stuff, right? So everybody was chiming in, wanting Keith Lee to comment, and he finally did. Now, I should say that Sweetly Seasoned doesn't sound like they're in business or they're going to be in business long, because a lot of people are saying they're boycotting, they're not going back, they don't care, this, that, the other, right? Now, this video I'm about to show you is Keith Lee's explanation as to what happened. It's about 3 minutes, so bear with me here because I think it's important that we hear what he has to say. So I'm going to share this. Give me one moment. Okay, we're going to bring him up. All right, here we go.
To be honest, there's not much to talk about, but there are a few conflated and confused things that's going around about the situation. So let's talk about that. 3 days ago, me and my family went to Sweetly Seasoned Food Truck. Number one, nobody had any idea we was coming. They found out we was in Dallas like everybody else found out we was in Dallas because we was posting videos in Dallas. So in hopes of us coming, they had t-shirts made and they was on live all day. So me and my family went in cahoots with none of this. We was all under the impression that they were a team, and this was a normal routine for them. The barber being there, the braider being there, family being there, a lot of people being there. This is our first time here. We are customers. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. Number two, I was never under the impression that haircuts was free. Again, my family was watching the lives. We knew that he was cutting hair for $40. So when we walked up and I said I want to get $1,000 to the barber to do free haircuts and $1,000 to the braider to braid hair, it was because in the original video, the son said it was slow due to marketing. That's marketing. God willingly, after we post the video, there will be a line out the door. If there's a line out the door and there's a barber and a braider doing hair while people are waiting, that's marketing. So again, it's in the hood. You play some music, you cutting hair, you braiding hair, y'all all sitting out, y'all having fun. It's a parking lot barbecue. So again, we don't know the behind the scenes if they knew each other, if they didn't know each other. And the reason why I didn't pay everybody individually, the interaction that you see looked longer than what it was. It was really only like a 5-minute interaction. Within that 5 minutes, 30 to 40 people pulled up. They was pulling up in droves. That parking lot was getting deep fast. And for me and my family safety in general, I don't never carry cash around. And 9 times out of 10, if we tip, we always do it through the POS system. And even if we wanted to do it a different way, Zelle and Apple Pay wasn't an option because it was 4 or 5 people at the same time on live. So for safety reasons, they wouldn't be able to say their phone numbers or their personal information out loud. And as far as them taking my phone and putting their number in on Zelle themselves, I wouldn't hand my personal phone to nobody. So the POS system was the option that made the most sense. I've learned through this journey that sometimes it's deeper than the food, it's deeper than the marketing, it's deeper than the customer service. And this is one of those cases, in my opinion. Sweetly Seasoned got a lot to figure out, and I thank God in advance that they do figure it out. The last thing I'm gonna touch on is the son is misconstruing something that I said, and I don't appreciate it. After I said out loud in detail what we deem the money to be used towards, I also said y'all can divvy it out how y'all feel necessary. Meaning, after the money hits, because it's a POS system, they don't hit the same day. Y'all can send it out through Apple Pay, through Zelle, through Cash App, through check, through cash, however y'all feel necessary to spread it amongst the team. I thought and I still think that that's a very clear statement, but it's being misconstrued, in my opinion, intentionally misconstrued. That I said, and the mom and the son can say who get the money and who don't get the money.
So Keith Lee did tell her to distribute the money how she felt necessary.
I never said that. Regardless of what's going on behind the scenes, I felt in my heart to do what we did. So for the mom to go on the back end and disregard where my heart was at and what I felt like God was telling me to do in that moment, and distribute the money how she felt necessary, is 100% wrong in my opinion. I see the memes and I see the jokes, but I am not in the business of shutting businesses down. Her actions did not sit right with y'all and her customer base. That resulted in the situation that she in today. Lee just ate the food and left the tip. Pray in advance that everybody in the situation stays safe. That's my biggest concern. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. God bless you. Have an amazing day. I'll be safe.
Okay. So you heard him explain it all. So he says, basically it's unfortunate that she put herself in the situation she's in. Situation she's in is potentially she's out of business. Doesn't sound like people want to go and do business with her. Basically, for what y'all heard, she essentially stole about almost $3,000 if you really look at it, because he gave her money to give free food to people. Plus, the $2,000 for her and her son, but again, she decided to keep it all. So it went all over social media. I mean, it's on the news, it's everywhere that this lady basically schemed and scammed people out of money. And so, for a couple of days, she doubled down, and I don't understand, and they wasn't there with me, and so then finally, she issued this. And this is the last thing, and then we'll get into it. Okay. And this is from their page and this was on Facebook. Sweetly Seasoned would like to apologize. We thought and believed we were right, but unfortunately we were wrong. This has been a huge miscommunication on our part, and all funds are being released. Okay. Now you look at that. The thing that makes me kind of raise my eyebrow about this is it's a miscommunication. How is this a miscommunication when everybody and their mama, including Keith Lee, told you what to do with the money? So now, even with this, you're giving us mea culpa, if you will, because you basically fumbled the bag. You let the $4,000 cost you potentially hundreds of thousands, if not millions, because ain't no telling how far your restaurant could have gone. But even still, in this post, she just won't call it what it is. I'm a horrible person. I'm a schemer, a scammer. And I tried to get over on good people who were there out the goodness of their heart, helping me after they summons Keith Lee, because it sounds like the girl Sherelle, she helped bring him there. And, Kim decided to be a horrible person. So even still, she not really taking accountability for the situation she finds herself in. Obviously, with this apology, she is wanting, people to come back to her restaurant. Now, let me address something real quick. I see somebody by the name of Mush Mouth. What is it? Mush Mouth Media, whatever your name is. Where'd it go? Mush Mouse. I'm reading. And I'm going to say this. You're asking, are we part of the mainstream media and all that? I don't even know why you would be asking that, but keep on, you're going to get blocked. I ain't blocked nobody in a minute, but the moderators ain't going to get you. It's going to be me. Now come in, have a seat, and play nice. Otherwise, you're going to get gone. All right. So I'm going to get to the comments in just a minute, but Donovan, what say you?
Well, to me, again, this is another example of what is plaguing the Black community in general. And I know a lot of people don't agree with me when I come on the show. I say a lot of things that is digressive to certain people's agenda, but this is what we're talking about. I was watching her videos late last night, because I was up, of course, crying my eyes out. But I was watching her videos, and she was talking about, I built this business from the ground up, this, that. She kept referencing it's a struggling business, thus Keith Lee came to kind of embolden this. And this is what I'm talking about when we talk about how we shoot ourselves in the foot. We don't know a good thing, when it's in front of us. She kept referencing she's a Christian woman and wants to do the right thing and all this other stuff. Well, God possibly sent you a blessing right there. And all you had to do was adhere to what you were told to do with it. And even if you misunderstood, right? Let's say you misunderstood it. The best thing to do, if you didn't, know what to do or whatever the deal is, refund all the money. It was a POS, point of scan or whatever, point of sale transaction. Refund the money back, and then have a nice day, and do it. Or Keith Lee could come and retell you what to do or whatever you need to do. But it's a simple fix of refunding the money and washing your hands and walking away from it. But your blessing is your blessing. But this happens to us all the time. Hard-headed people, men and women, that do not want to listen. They want to do their own thing, and then they want to blame society when nobody wants to bow down to what they want them to do. Thus, sometimes you see Demetra and I, we get into it because I'm going to stand on my square because I will not conform to a feminist agenda. And a lot of you guys that are new to the show, I do not support feminists. Why? Because I'm a man. I do not support feminists. I'm a man, period. So, and that's a different story. But what I'm saying is we don't like to get direction. And then of course the greed that comes into it. Now, $4,000 is a lot of money to a lot of people. She could have done a lot of great work for that $4,000, but Demetria will tell you, and a lot of people that know me will tell you, I probably give more than I ever receive. And because I give, and I don't give because God's going to bless me. I hate when I go to black churches, because remember, I'm a Catholic. I go to black churches, and it sounds like to me, people want to blackmail God. Well, God, you said if I did this, you're going to do this for me. So you're doing it because you expect something in the end, or are you doing it out of the generation of your heart? And I think Keith Lee, what he does is the generation out of his heart. Thus, he is very, very blessed in what he's doing, right? Right. Once again, and I'm surprised that this lady who admitted she's in her 50s, these are the type of people that are raising children with the value systems that they have. They complain about struggling, but won't listen to the people that are successful to tell them how to do it. Demetria says this all the time on the show. I say this on my show all the time. If we gave black people a blueprint of what to do and how we could get to the bag and do it, nobody's going to follow it, because if you want to hide something from a black person, you put it in a book. They're not going to read it. They're going to want to go and do their own thing. So it's unfortunate she missed her blessing, but that's what goes on in our community.
Absolutely. Trying to get this thing off my screen. I don't know what's tripping. But anyway, so yeah, it's just really a missed opportunity. You know, as you guys know, I'm in public relations, and this was an avoidable situation. It really was. All she had to do was just say, oops, all right, here's the money. But like somebody said, she didn't think it was going to get any attention. She thought she was going to be able to, you know, stick them up for that money and keep it pushing. But, you know, the whole thing went viral, and I hate it for her because she's so stubborn and so hard-headed. And we all know people like that. I can't be wrong. You ain't going to tell me what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. And he shoulda, woulda, coulda, woulda. That's what it looked like. And it's like, damn, lady, that wasn't your money. That money didn't come out your pocket. That money was given to you as a blessing for somebody who came to bless you indeed, and you fumbled the bag by thinking it was your money. I don't, you know, if he would have told me and he didn't, and he said to do as I see fit. So you think, even if he said, do as you see fit, do you think it's right to rob people of money that they earned? Honestly, you know, and so either way, she's saying how horrible of a person she is. And even when it started to really hit the fan for her, she was trying to reach out to the girl, Sherelle, and tell her, hey, come get your money. And she said that Sherelle wasn't responding. And then she turned around, her and her son. I think his name, he goes by Ignorant Trey or something like that on TikTok. They was like, well, if she don't respond and come get this money, then she clout chasing and blah, 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 blah. And she was like, you know what? Just pay my brother. I'm not going to keep going back and forth with y'all. Just pay my brother. And so even then they tried to make it seem like, okay, well, damn, fine. We gonna give her the money, but you know, she needs to, just like ugly and evil. Now, somebody told me this, and I think this is very true with this. It says money, and I guess getting more money, I guess what I'm trying to say, really just expose who you really are. It makes you more of who you really are. You know what I mean? So Kim, the owner of Sweetly Seasoned, was already a horrible person, and her getting that money amplified. It's like, lady, you messed up your whole livelihood over, well, really $2,000, because $2,000 was already yours, over $2,000. Is that was your bad off? Like, what's going on here? But like I said, I hate that for her because she did it to herself. Nobody did that to her. And now you halfway contrite because your business is belly up now. It's crazy.
So you don't think that she's going to, you know, and again, why are we in love with struggling in everything that we do? But when we go to the white man, we can follow his directions and his rules, you know, listening to what they need to do up to the corporate ladder. You've got this blessing, $4,000, and okay, you didn't have it before. See, the way I would look at it is, if I didn't have $4,000, what did I actually lose? If I have to give this money to this person and I have to give this money to this person, I didn't lose anything. I didn't lose one thing. If anything, I gained. And then I was, you know, I'm not a business person. Okay. I'm more of an investor. I don't have the business acumen, don't want the business acumen. Some people do. Everybody, when people say, "Oh, you should start your own business," people, stop it. Not everybody is business minded. I'm a worker. I work, I invest. That's what I do. I'm not a business person because when you're chasing money like that, it's a constant thing. You're constant. I went on vacation in Hawaii one time, Demetra, with a friend of mine that had a business, and even on the vacation, he was still in the business. He couldn't even relax. Worried about this, worried about the vendors and all this other stuff. So that's not a life for me. But I did notice this about this lady. You got free advertising. Free advertising on social media. Giving out the free haircuts, giving out whatever, he told you to do with the money. That's priceless. They said a third of Donald Trump's presidential run in 2016 was because of the major news networks giving him coverage is what got him elected. A third. Can you guys believe that? And this lady who's struggling, she's a struggling business. And you know how black folks are. We hear the turkey leg cut if something's up. We're going to go over there and try it. We're going to go over there and try it. And she just fumbled it. And it's just amazing to me how $4,000 that really she didn't make that day. She received, and I think she was supposed to keep 1,000 of it, I believe, or something like that for herself.
Yeah, and I guess supposed to give the other to her son.
Yeah, to her son or whatever the deal is. She could have invested that back into her thing, but at the end of the day, she didn't lose anything. And not to give the money back, if Demetra, well, obviously you don't want to give the money back because look at her attitude when come and get it. She don't want to come and get. How you gonna blame her because she doesn't want to come to get money that she really wasn't expecting anyway? And you're going to give it back to her with that kind of attitude?
And Sherelle had asked her nicely, right? Because like he said, he sent it through, I think it was Square or something. And I think it takes like a day or so for it to actually hit. So Sherelle was like, she called her because I guess she hadn't heard from her, like, hey, just seeing if, the money cleared. And then she said, Kim, the owner of Sweetly Seasoned, was like, oh, call me. Now, anytime somebody black tell you, oh, give me a call, it's going to be some foolishness. I'm just kidding. But for real, she said, go ahead and give me a call. And then from that point, it just all went downhill, of her. It's theft is what it is. Let's keep it real. It's theft. There is no miscommunication or I thought I should have. It's theft. You stole the money from them. And like, I think, Tisha, you said it. And somebody else said too, is just who she is. And the karma's coming back to her. She couldn't help herself. She's probably been operating that way her whole life, which is probably why she's where she's at, in the food truck. And it sounds like her food was good. Keith liked it. But, it's not the food that's a problem. It's you. It's your attitude that's a problem. It's your characteristics. It's like you really think you should treat people like that. And it sounds like the people were there trying to really, help drum up business. Keith Lee might be coming. And then you do that to people. Listen, I don't wish bad on nobody. I really don't. But that lady right there, I ain't going to be too mad if she don't ever open up again. I wouldn't care if she didn't sell another bologna sandwich. I wouldn't care.
Did anybody, was it just me? Or was it, I just want anybody else to notice and let me know in the chat. Did you notice when the owner, the lady, 50-something years old, older lady who should know better, who should have, know how to, make this thing work. She's in her kitchen doing the live, right? I'm watching this video. And I'm kind of an observant person. Did you guys notice that she's in the kitchen and she, of course she's getting upset. So, the snot's rolling down her lip and she's wiping it with her hand. Did anybody else notice that? Because I'm thinking, go get a tissue. What are you doing? And then you're a chef. I'm not saying because you're in the, but even if you're not a chef, everybody knows you don't wipe your nose with your hand. Anyway, I just wanted to see if I was the only one that noticed that.
No, I noticed that. And Tisha said, anonymous, she said she was broke. I'm convinced she had no money that day. And that's why she stopped serving food for, after 3 people, just my opinion. Yeah, and I believe she's probably broke too. But it's like, what if he never gave you the money? You was still going to be broke. You know what I mean? So why did you stole that money from them and it just stayed? Because listen, I think most people could have understood it. She said, ooh, child, I'm struggling. I, spent every dime I had and then some to open up this truck. Do y'all mind if I keep this and I give it? Like, I would have said no if she asked me that, but I'm just saying, at least offer that explanation. But just to say, well, he said, I can give it as I see fit. It's like, that ain't what he said. Now you're gonna make me fight over something that was never really mine anyway in the first place. Like nobody had the money till he gave it, but she acted like it was hers. Like she was giving it.
Yeah, let me ask you this question real quick, Demetri, because Walter knows about finances, you know about it, a lot and stuff, and you have a background in services and things like that as well. When you open a business, aren't you supposed to have a certain amount of money because you're not going to turn a profit over a period of time? I mean, how could you be broke and then open a business and then, survive day to day? That doesn't make any sense. Why do we do that as a people? And I notice Black people, we do that a lot. We don't really have the capital to keep the business going because they usually take, I guess, when it comes to restaurants, even though she's in a food truck, when it comes to restaurants and stuff, you won't turn a profit unless you're extremely popular. It takes like 2 or 3 years, maybe even longer. So how is she, running this food truck on a shoestring budget? I just don't know. To me, that's disastrous in itself. You're just throwing your money out the window.
Well, I think she's not rare. I think a lot of people are operating that way. I think a lot of people are operating just one, can of tomatoes away from, going out of business. But then when you look at her attitude, then you can kind of understand to a large degree why she is where she's at. She's a nasty human being. Her son is a nasty human being, and they're in business serving the public. See, that's the kind of stuff that freaks me out. Y'all got bad attitudes, you're nasty acting, and you want to be serving people food like that? Nah, I'm good. I would. I mean, that's just me. I wouldn't want to go because if your attitude is like that, then what you doing behind closed doors? What you doing in the kitchen? And with people who serving food or in service, see, when you are in a restaurant business, you're of service. You're supposed to be of good service. That's to the customers and to the people working with you, whether they on the payroll or they volunteering. But she is a nasty acting human, and she's just getting what's coming to her. Like, I agree with Keith. And he said, ain't got nothing to do with me. It's, the public, the customers are doing what they see fit. And I love that he did not try to dissuade them from doing what they're doing. I'm glad he didn't say, give her a break. She probably made a mistake. He was like, I put my, a kiss of approval on it. And plus I gave some tips and she fumbled the bag. I'm not going to speak up on behalf of her because basically what he was saying, he ain't going to say it, but I'm going to say it. She a horrible person and she getting what she got coming to her, period.
And didn't the girl, the TikToker, like she's a famous TikToker, I guess, in the Dallas area, in that northern area up there, didn't she work for free? So you're getting free labor, you got free money, and even though the girl did it for free, and you got money you weren't expecting, you still don't think you should pay somebody for the time and effort that they helped you do your thing? What kind of society are we living in? Well, I guess we are in a Pizarro world now, but you know what I mean? What world are you living in? When people come to pick up my yard or something like that, even though, okay, I got a nephew, even though I don't have to pay him one damn dime if I don't want to, I do it because he could be doing 101 other things later on, into the day and whatever. If somebody comes to help me, I'll hey, give me lunch, give me something, I'll do something for them, but not to pay them anything? No.
Right. And then you're going to get an attitude about it. That talking about she a scammer. And when she don't even be working with Sweetly Season like that. And then she said in one video, they was here to help Sweetly Season. It's like, golly, you are a horrible human. You was serving food acting like that. I'm glad I ain't never ate from there.
Brothers, get your passports. Get your passports. I'm joking. We don't have to take this. This is the kind of stuff that we have to deal with. No, you don't. Get a passport and get out of here.
Nah. And Tracy, how you doing? Says time factor on the food to give it for free. Says she didn't want to feed them. She closed up at 5 p.m. based on what they say. It is like, she's like, time to go.
Money. I'm done.
Got the money and booked. Like,
and I'm not disparaging the South, but I noticed this, coming from California, people here in California, I'm not saying we're better than anybody else, but people, because it's so expensive to live here, you got to get it. If I needed a barber and called him to come to my house, the guy's going to come and I'm going to pay him whatever accordingly. But I noticed like back east and in the South, once they make a certain amount of money for the day, they're done. They don't care. You know, you can say, hey, I need this emergency $100. No, I'm good. I'm good for the day. You know, maybe tomorrow or something like that. I just don't get it. You know, they get a bit of money and then they're done. I mean, am I wrong? Has anybody else experienced that?
You ain't finna. Hey, I'm out here in the South. You ain't finna get me in trouble. Okay. You ain't finna. Now, I would say, listen, because I'm not one of those people like to beat up on Black businesses, okay? But I do know that sometimes we kind of deviate from the time that's put on the dough. You know what I mean? Sometimes we like to do that, and yeah, you said you was opening up at 11, and it's 1, and you still ain't there yet. I probably ain't gonna come back. You just gonna keep it real. All right, so then I get down to the bottom, and Suki, thank you so much for the donation. Love it, appreciate you for that. Donovan has started some mess talking about some passports. Star Child, how you doing? Third Eye, what's going on with you? Mr. Mush Mouse, you say, okay, I'm going, y'all. In the South, I see the fear. What is you on, brother? What is you on? Are you all over the place in these comment sections? I'm trying to figure out what the deal is. You all right? But anyway, you know, I was talking to my daughter about this. I'm going to share the link in just a minute, you know, see y'all opinion or whatever the case is. Do y'all think that Miss Kim there at Sweetly Seasoned, do y'all think she should get another opportunity? That's the question that I want to pose. Hey, Brother Don, how you doing? I want to see if she's going to get she deserves an opportunity. That's the question I'm going to pose. Okay. Now, I was talking to my daughter yesterday about this. Now, for those of you guys may not know, I went to cosmetology school when I was 18 years old, right out of high school, because I could kind of do hair and stuff. So my mom was like, why don't you go to cosmetology school? Okay. So I went. I got my cosmetology license in about, I don't know, it was like 9 months. I want to.
How many hours at RCC do they give?
I went to Gina Robert.
Oh, Gina Robert. Sorry.
Gina Robert, 1,600 hours, and I did them like that. I'm just like that. I like to get everything just over with, you know, just be done with it, right? Okay. I passed the bar on the first time, which is rare. I'm excited going to doing hair. So I go to this one shop, and Donovan, this is how I met Jerry and your auntie Winsome. Now, mind you, at this time, I'm 19, okay? All right, that shop was struggling. It was like way behind some, you know, you couldn't even see the doggone shop. So me and Jerry go to this other shop, okay? There's a Black woman. I'm going to say her name, okay? Shirley Green. Sure, and she remind me of this lady right here. She remind me of this mean and nasty. She just an evil old wench, okay? But we didn't know that. So we go to the shop and everything. She was cool for the first 5 minutes, I would say. Get up in there. And then my other homegirl, Nancy, she'd been in the hair industry for years. So she went over there because it was a Black shop. We was going to, you know, all be together. Do you know? And this Shirley Green, her husband, Eugene, big, fat, nasty. Okay, I hope somebody shows her this too. Mind you, I was 19. I have a reason for being vexed. So anyway, he sit in the chair. He just fat and greasy. She's swearing up and down. Somebody want her man. Okay. Years later, I found out that he saw a couple of women put a sexual harassment case up on her in the shop. Good. Nevertheless, so I'm in the shop and I'm, you know, getting some clients and stuff. And she was sabotaging me, taking clients, just all kind of stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, forget it. I'm leaving. I go apply for Supercuts, right? Now, mind you, I'm still young. And the lady was like, I like you. I interviewed. Do you know that lady called me back and said, I really like you. However, Shirley Green, the lady that owned the shop, told me that you come in late, which I'm working for myself. I ain't coming in late. I was stealing, causing problems in the shop, okay? Which none of that was true. And the lady told me, she says, I really want to hire you, but she says, I cannot do it because it's a risk. God forbid it's true. She says, but I'm telling you, you need to get away from that lady. She says, because by law, she was only supposed to tell me, yes, you work there. And basically, would she hire you again? She said, I didn't ask her for all that, but she volunteered. All right. So after I got off the phone with her, I went into the shop and gathered all my stuff. But before I left, my friend Nancy left because this wench, Shirley Green, changed the locks on the shop because my friend Nancy, she was, a hairdresser from LA. She was just like this big time hairdresser. So all these clients would be coming in there and she was trying to steal Nancy's clients. So Shirley got mad and changed the locks on the door to the shop. Okay, we all had keys. Do you know my friend Nancy's key, the old key, opened up the door to the shop? So she gets in there. She gets there before the owner. So the owner shows up and says, how did you get in here? And my friend Nancy was like, I used the key. Well, you couldn't have did that because I changed the locks. Did the janitor let you in here? And my friend Nancy, because it was just them two in there, said she backed her up into the corner in the supply room and wanted to fight her. So my friend Nancy gathered her stuff and left. And I forget why Jerry left, but I'm sure it was some madness why she left too. So when I saw this lady at Sweetly Seasoned, it reminded me of her. You got a lot of nasty, and I don't even want to attribute this to Black women. Lord knows I don't. Because I always say nobody hate a Black woman like a Black woman, but I'm going to try not to go there. But it reminded me of her. Taking advantage of people who are just simply trying to make it. I call them piranhas. Y'all know the nature of a piranha. Just eat up and devour everything around it for survival, right? They are piranhas and they prey on people who are simply trying to make it. I was a kid at 19. Now, mind you, I left and went somewhere else, ended up working for this dude who was in the Mexican mafia, and I decided to never do hair no more. That's my true story.
But Demetra, you're leaving out the fact you were 19. And at 19, coming out of the track and the way you're built and all that other good stuff, women hate you wherever you go. I can't have any other female friends when Demetra's around. You guys, my friends do not like Demetra because, and that says a lot about the sisterhood. That's why we know it doesn't exist. It's bullshit. You guys are competing against each other. Here's and I see it a lot of times. You got these younger women that come in. You could be 34. There's a 50, 60-year-old woman there that's been there for years, and they hate on you guys because now everybody's looking at you guys, or you guys are getting all the attention and all that other stuff. So I'm not surprised that this woman hated on you because back when you were 19, everything was tight and it was right. No, man. Go ahead.
Wait, let me tell y'all this too. Now she had a son, and this is why I say this reminds me of this situation. She had a couple of kids, but she had a son who was this big time, all-star football player, and he was going on to do some great things. He's going to go to college and all that. And when he had a girlfriend, mind you, they had all went to the same church and stuff. So the girlfriend broke up with the son, and they happened to be in the same class. I guess the son bought her a watch or something. And during the class, he was telling her, give me the watch back. So the girl was like, hey, yo, we in class, not right now type of thing. Do you know that boy got up and beat the mess out that girl to the point of hospitalizing her? And when I heard that story, I said, that don't surprise me. He got it from his mama and his janky daddy that nobody wanted, But yeah, you got to be careful how you treat people. Because as they say, y'all go to church, you say the sins of the father, the mama, will be visited upon the children, and the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Now, I don't know if that's from the Bible, but when you act like that, you're going to teach your children to act like that. And so they just getting what they got coming to them. Now, I don't ever know what happened to Shirley, but whatever. So anyway, I'm going to put this link in here. I'm going to ask y'all opinion. Hey, Miss B, how you doing? And see what you guys think. Now, if you don't really have an opinion on this subject as to whether y'all think she deserves a chance to, redeem herself, don't click this link. I ain't going to say it again. All right. So let me put this in here. And hello to everybody that came on here. Sorry, I was running my mouth. Sometimes I do that. So I'm going to put this in here real quick. I really hope somebody tells Shirley if she's still with us, because she was kind of, she might not still be with us. R.I.P. That was
See, but you got to all remember this. See, but this goes back to where we're at today. It's just a fact. The older women are competing with the younger women still to this very day. I just heard about that Drea Michelle, the girl that was on Basketball Wives. This woman is what, 39, and she's allegedly pregnant by a 21-year-old basketball player. Now, here's my issue with that. If that was a man, oh, he's a predator. Oh, he's this, he's that. Ladies, why is it that when an older woman prays and now she's pregnant by this dude, everybody's quiet. Nobody says anything. But if a man is dating a younger woman and does this, that it's a problem. He's a predator. He's a stranger danger, whatever you guys call it. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Our older women, I'm not saying, women shouldn't be out there dating. What I'm saying is the older women are dating in the same pool of men that the younger women are dating in. And, I'm not saying they shouldn't, but they really shouldn't.
Hello. Miss We Talking Crazy, talking about when the book's coming out. You know what? I got a couple of books I could write, but yeah, y'all think of playing. He, the last shop I went to, he was in the Mexican mafia. That's what this, one of the girls that was telling me that I was working there. Godly, man, that was pretty scary. If you really think about it, I was 19. One of the girls that he met at a strip club, she's a white girl, big old giant fake boobs that he paid for, because she told me and her was in the shop one day, and she was just running her mouth. She was the nail tech, just running her mouth. He's just that and the other. He likes me, but I don't like him. And he bought me these boobs, and he's in the Mexican mafia. And I'm like, how the hell I'm supposed to know that? But I always was smart. I wasn't up in there for real. Oh, for real. I was like, okay. So I think he had the shop bug, because one day I was there by myself, and he came in. He was real cool. I ain't gonna lie, he was real cool. And he's sitting there, and we're just, chopping it up. And he said, so I understand, her name was Lorette. I understand Lorette was telling you, some things. I'm like, okay. He says, be careful. Don't listen to Lorette, and don't repeat anything she's saying. I'm like, oh, no. So I worked for about a week or so, and I told my mom was like, get up out of there. She says, but don't leave just right away. Give it a couple of days or so, and then tell him you was going back to school, which I ended up doing. So I went, I said, hey, thank you for the opportunity, but I'm not really doing a good job here. I'm gonna go back to school. And that's what I did. I got the hell up out of there. And needless to say, I haven't done hair really professionally since then, which is unfortunate. But anyway, I put the link in there if y'all want to come up here. Let's see. And Miss Sweet Tea's talks. I see you saying, I'm not hating on any young women, pass the torch and put them in the game. Yeah, I don't know why we do that. And Donovan has his theory, whatever. But I don't know. This has always baffled me that we do that. Not all of us, but some of us, we just, I want your man. I see you with, I'm trying to get your man. Or, I can't just say, hey, sister, you look good today. Look at what she got on and all this other stuff. It's like, golly, why are we so mean and nasty? Even with this owner of Sweetly Season, you gonna call a girl a scammer? All because she asked you for the money that Keith told you to give to her. Now you gonna deduce her down? She wasn't really supposed to be there anyway. She's supposed to be there for Sweetly Season. And it's get that lady her money. You know what I mean? But you gonna just tear her all the way down because she asked for what was hers.
Right. And she kept changing the story. If you really listen to the timeline, it was this, then it was this, and it was this, and she ain't supposed to be there. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you are asking for help. You're in this struggling business. You would be a damn fool, business fool, to turn down free labor. Why do you think all these Venezuelans and people are coming here, and the Democrats are keeping the floodgates open and legalizing them? What they're not telling you guys is he's legalizing these people that are here. He's legalizing them so they can go get jobs. Why would you turn down free labor? Come on now.
All right, Common Man, hello, welcome to the chat. You say hello, Demetra and Donovan. Made it, better late than never. How y'all doing? We are doing fabulous, and thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate y'all for that. I put the link in there if y'all want to come up and ask, say whether you think Miss Sweetly Season should get another opportunity. Like I said, I don't like to see people's businesses fail, but I can't want it more than you do, and that's the other thing too of thinking I'm all that I'm gonna negate what people are saying and forget what y'all talking about. Is what I say. No, you got to listen to your customer or the people who may become customers, because they're the reason you in business. But you just couldn't just get the chip off your shoulder and say, you know what, I was wrong, or it really was a misunderstanding. I've given them the money right away. But you know, there's this expression to say, are you really gonna die on that hill, or don't die on that hill? Well, she died on that hill. Okay.
You talk about Custer's last stand. Good Lord.
Sweetly seasoned last stands. It's like, you know, we know and hear ignorant people, but my God, that was some of the most ignorant. I'm watching it unfold. I'm like, is this lady serious? For real? Like Keith Lee, they call it the Keith Lee effect, because when he comes and he blesses your business, then boom, right? Money is a flowing. Like, you'll never be the same. And she didn't even give it a good day before she ruined it. In my mind, I would like to use a term that I use off of here. I ain't gonna use it here because, you know, y'all don't know me like that. But let's just say it starts with the N word, SHIT. It's what it is, okay? Honestly. Hey, Brother Jonell, how are you doing today? Buckhart says she wanted to go back home, plantation. Whoa. Okay. Miss Sweet Talker says a Sweetly Season talked herself into a bad situation and made it worse. And then her son, they just tag teaming the nonsense. You know, they both just up on that hill, just deceased.
See now here's another thing. I don't know this lady's background or nothing, but I did see the moist sun on his thing. And again, and you know, how do I say this and try to be non-politically correct, but meaning what I say? If he was a regular guy, right? That's a situation we would not get into in regards to, you know, the back and forth and the banter. We would say what we got to say, and you know, you're supposed to stand up and be and do what's right. Men are supposed to be problem solvers. One of the 4 P's, problem solving, is what we're supposed to do. Mom, give the money back. Da 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 da. It's my friend. Whatever. I saw the video where he was saying, "Well, if she don't want to do this and be my friend, then so be it." And I was just like, "Oh my God, that isn't how a man, you know, handles the situation. You just you lay the law down and say, this is what it's supposed to be. This is how it is." And I know a lot of ladies are going to disagree with me, but again, you guys are ladies. We're men. Men, one of the 4 P's is problem solving.
Yeah. He finally said, "Oh well, I don't want it to, you know, it's not worth losing the friendship." It's like, but you took them through all of that. Your mama called her a scammer, and y'all did all of that over. I mean, $1,000 is a lot of money. I don't want to deduce it, but it's not a lot of money in the larger scheme of things of, you know, imploding your whole business. You know what I mean? And then, godly, this is just a classic situation of ish. It is, you know, and then it's like, you're going to continue to try to convince people that you're right when you're clearly wrong. And then Keith Lee, who I think is just an angel, I really did too, because he could be doing other stuff and he's helped so many businesses. Now you painting him in a bad light. Well, if he tell me to get, I don't think he told me. The man, like I think this should be textbook. I think it should be in business books somewhere of how to just die on that hill in business. I think that's a good title of a book. How to die on, or how not to die on the hill in business. You know?
Now, don't get me wrong. How many of you guys have heard the term "the customer is always right"? That is not true. That is not true. The customer is not always right. And I'll tell you how I know. When I was in the military, I also worked part-time. I always had a part-time job. I'm a hustler just like Dimitri. I always had a part-time job, worked at the airlines, right? And I'm managing at this airline in Jacksonville, Florida. And remember a couple of years ago, or really longer than that, maybe 15 years ago, whatever it was, they had this major ice storm in the Northeast. Always happens. We had flights that were canceling everywhere. You couldn't get up there, whatever. People are like, I've got to get to my job. I got to do this. Oh, we got to do that. I used to say as a manager, well, we can get you there, but do you want to arrive alive? Big difference. See, so the customer is not always right because you don't really know what's going on behind the reason of that cancellation or the reason of why a certain business does a certain thing. You know what I mean? So we got to get off of that aspect in regards to thinking the customer is always right, because they're not in all situations. But a customer's critique is always right.
Well, I agree with you. I think the premise of, and GP, I'm gonna bring you up in just a second. I think the premise of the customer is always right is basically, find a way to tell the customer yes before you tell them no, right? Be cordial, be nice, be of service. But yeah, there's sometimes we have to tell, the customer ain't right. Get your ass up out my store. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case is, I get it. But yeah, in her situation, she didn't give a damn about nobody. I'm right, and I don't know. Shut up. I was gonna say, is she married? I don't know.
No, it's obviously she's not married. That's
that
obvious.
ain't my business. I'm gonna lie my business.
But that's obvious. She's not married. That's obvious.
All right, and Miss B, I'm gonna answer your question. GP, I'm gonna bring you up here. You okay? Wait. You on here twice? Okay, I'm gonna bring you up. Just give me a second. You say, Demetri, I want to ask you a question. How would you take it if someone or people tell you not to dress up to go and eat and have drinks? My family knows I love to dress up. What do you think? And I also saw you said that you're not a tennis shoe person. You're really a girly girl. So they tell you not to dress up. Dress up anyway. You know what I mean? Because my thing is, what does it mean to dress up? Where are we going? Right? Because I sometimes have people tell me that, well, why you dressed like that? We only going here. We're going because I want to. Okay. This is how I feel comfortable. I want to, put forth some effort, especially if you're like me and don't leave the house too much. So when you leave the house, you kind of want to, look cute, put your best high heel forward or whatever the case is. So I get it. But dress up anyway and tell them, listen, mind the closet that you paid for. Don't be telling me what to wear and what not to wear, especially if I'm going out for drinks or whatever the case is. So yeah, do it anyway. So GP, how you doing today?
I'm pretty good. What about you?
No complaints.
Well, I'm going based off of what y'all was talking about with that lady with the food truck. So if I want money to anybody outside of my family, stuff like that is exactly why I had him sign a promissory note. And then I keep a copy of it, so that way, if they screw off the money and do outside of what money was intended for, I could take them and sue what they owe, and then I could be probably reimbursed legally.
Yeah, that's smart. If it's in writing, there is no fighting. Absolutely.
Right, and then also, this last thing to say, basically I'm 6 foot limit for myself.
Your reception is kind of going in and out.
Let me try to fix it. How about now?
It's better.
All right, so basically, let me say this is the last thing to say. I set a 6 foot limit for myself, like I said before. And last time was the 6th time I hit on you. Therefore, I have to abide by my 6 fail rule. Since I hit on 6 times to ask you out, and you reaffirm the answer is no 6 times, I have to regard my romantic interest for you to abide by my 6 fail rule. But I can keep it cordial, and I'm gonna still support and watch the show because you have a pretty dope show. But when you reject me 6 times, I can't have no more romantic interest in you. That's just a rule I set for myself.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry that I could not oblige you in going out on a date with you, but I am very respectful that you are a man of principle and that you do stick to the rules that you have set forth for yourself. And I'm going to say this sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I really do hope that you find a young lady. I was going to say young lady, but you like a little bit seasoned, an older woman that is for you, and she will love you to the end of time. And y'all will just have a great relationship. And me saying no to you was nothing personally against you. It's just that I'll be 53 years old and you're 24. So you're a lot too young for me. So please do not take that as a slight toward you personally. It's just something that I would not feel comfortable with doing. But I believe that you'll find the woman for you.
Well, yeah, I understand, but like only get that from black women in terms of romance. Only women of our community. I'm not a swear because ever since I started making YouTube videos, but YouTube playing on my so the numbers were it. constantly older women of races trying to convince me this. And
Um,
the thing is, women are the only one who put the stipulation that the guy has to be around their age, a little bit older. It seems.
well, and more black. If I could see your face before I bring you up, and then you can blank it out if you like. Okay, I got you. You can blank it out. Okay, and I'm gonna put you on mute before. Okay, there you go. All right, so GP, before we get on here, I heard you say that it's only black women that do that to you. Well, I'm gonna say this: big ups to black women, because there's a lot of black women who know doggone well you a little bit too young for them. You know what I mean? It's like, honestly, I would not be doing you a great service by dating you. You know what I mean? Because for one, I've got so much, and I'm not saying that I'm better, so please don't take it this way. I got a lot more life experience than you do. And I don't think it'd be fair to you to date you being so young. I think you should probably, and this is just my opinion, be with somebody who's a little bit more closer to your age range. But I wouldn't put this on black women in that you feel like we are rejecting you. I think we're actually protecting you, because to engage in a relationship with somebody, especially somebody so much older, it does, I would say, leave you emotionally vulnerable, because I know a lot of stuff you don't know, right? And I don't know. I just never thought of it, and I could never date somebody who's a lot younger than me. But like I said, don't put that on black women that we are somehow jaded because we won't date you. I just think that we're using good sense.
Well, I didn't say all it. I'm just saying, holding your back, looking at age. The laws on the books consider me legally a grown man, but it's usually women in their 40s and 50s that are black that tell me either I'm too old for you, I got kids your age, I got kids older than you. Most often when I hit on older women in person, they tell me, boy, you have to be your mama.
It's
like
true.
It's only black women that look at me as a child. Women of other races.
Wait. I didn't say you were a child. I said you are too young for me. That's what I said. I didn't say you were a child.
Well, yeah, I didn't say that you said that, but other women have said that blatantly, that I'm a child compared to them with the age difference.
And then can I just give you some, I don't want to say motherly advice, because I know you don't see me as that, okay?
Right.
Some of this might have to do with, and I would say in all fairness, because you are 24, and I'm not saying you're immature, that I'm not saying, you've got a lot to learn. And this right here is a perfect example. No woman, whether she is young or old, wants to feel like if she tells somebody no, he's going to take it away, other than she just said no, right? Because
right,
but you have extracted a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't say, with me just saying, well, thank you so much, but you're a little too young for me. You're like internalizing that, and so that might speak a little bit that maybe you're not ready to date a woman that's older.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'm saying, like, because women my age and on par with I had since women my age, they knew 6 times, and then ever since I started to date, I've always either rejected, or if they did with me, they let me think they wanted something romantic and only use me for behind closed doors bedroom action.
I mean, I get it. I really do get it. And this is what I'm going to say to you too. I can't tell you what to do. Work on strengthening yourself, right? Really do like some self-assessment, self-evaluation. Really just figure. I know you say you want an older woman. I don't know if you really want that, because it's a lot to older women, right? Older women, sometimes we're a little bit set in our ways, and all that little fun stuff you want to do, riding roller coasters and stuff. Like, listen, I'm not about to be getting on all these roller coasters with you and all of that other stuff. I'm not, I would probably, well, I won't say that, but there's a lot of women who won't do stuff like that. So what I'm saying is, there's a lot of older women who just, we chilling. And I think we're doing you a favor.
Well, but go. The thing, like, when my age and army mentally, I say that because I lost everything from 2019 to 2022, being wrongfully put on felony probation, solely relying on my parents for everything. And then from 2019 to 2022, the only things that I got knew that I wanted were birthday presents, Christmas presents, and probably any other special occasion on holidays. And then only reason more on stuff is with me clearing my probation, my felony shows as an arrest. So I'm doing good for myself. So me losing nearly selling my soul to the devil, ultimately decide not to get into the Bible and praying to God every day. I'm more mentally matured and I'm more mentally like a 40 to 50-year-old man rather than a man in my own age group. Because men in most of my age group have not endured and through and found light after all the darkness we went through. Light hit most like it hit me. So I'm a mature 4-year-old
I,
rebuilding after losing everything.
I got you. I got you, dear brother. Well, you know what? Keep us posted on your pursuit out there in the dating market. We are definitely interested, but I'm gonna let more blacks speak as well. She has been patiently waiting, but come and see us again.
Well, thank you. Y'all have a good day. But
You
I'm
too.
over it now. I'm over my romantic interest in you. You don't have to do nothing else about it from me ever again. I'm
Okay.
completely over it. All right,
Okay.
y'all have
All right. Well, thank you.
Hmm.
How you doing, more black?
Hi, can you guys hear me well?
We hear you
Yes,
just
very
fine.
well,
All
very
right.
well.
Okay. So no, I just wanted to add a little bit of input. Um, you know, I watch your show every Sunday, and I love well the other days as well. But I love the topic. But I think we don't consider the black psychology of things. Like I listened to the story that you told about your your ex supervisor or whatever occurred, and I know this sounds really bad, but that's to be expected. I've experienced that, myself. And I wish that we did have, a lot of us did have more of a sisterhood. I'm in my mid 30s. And I see this all the time when I work. And I also own a business where I think it was 2 weeks ago, week and a half, 2 weeks ago, where it was the same thing. This girl kind of like, you know, cut, cut me down a little bit or tried to. I discovered it later on. And as sad as it is to say, I expected that. But I think I also want to leave with this. We are also programmed as Black people. Sometimes we don't think about that to be against each other, and integration just made it so worse. And I used to be a counselor, so I always follow our Black psychologists as much as I can. And we have one called Dr. Joy DeGruy, and
Yes.
she breaks everything down, and it really hit me, even in my 20s, even with my relationships. I'm single, but even with my relationships when I was engaged, learning that, getting your heart broken in different situations, I had to learn too of what I'm doing as well as a woman and what he could have did better as a man. And I really think we need to pay attention more to our Black psychologists, like her. And she breaks it down, even outside of relationships. She talks about how when we came here, if you have you and another person on a slave ship. I study history, okay, so I'm a historian. But if you have two people on a slave ship, and these people, I'm a foundational Black American. I'm gonna tell you that now. I don't know if you get down with that. I don't hear you talk about it as much.
I'm
But
familiar.
yes, but I classify myself as a Black American freedman right outside of South Carolina. So, but when you bring people here, the first thing they did was rape the Black woman most of the time in front of the Black man on the ship. And a lot of people think that was about, just raping for fun, which they did. You wasn't considered, a guy if you didn't, have a fresh N-word gal. I don't use the N-word, so I'm gonna just
Right.
put it like that. So, and that was also about control. That was to show the Black woman that no matter what you do, no matter what he does, no matter how big he is, how much he love you, how much you love him, there's nothing he can do now to protect you. And I feel like we carried some of that with us, and the same with the men. And I say this because I don't want to talk too much because I love history. But also think about it like this too, and this stuff still affects us. No, nobody likes to talk about slavery. Nobody owns a slave, but the effects are still there. Here's a good example. You have two slaves in a house and you have a slave master. He's raping this woman constantly. They say they don't want us, but honey, they want us. That's why they want all of our features on the white people. Oh, they always wanted us. They were always checking for us, honey. Always. Now the issue with that is let's just say you have a Black man and a Black woman laying in the bed. You have the master, always raping her, and he's in full control. Let's just put yourself in that situation. A lot of people can say, "Oh, well, I would never allow that." That's a lie. Back in the day, if that's all you know, you're gonna go for that, or either you're gonna do your best to kill him. But a lot of times, he would make your husband or your man that you love so much get out of the bed, go do something while he have his way. Now, as a woman, as a woman, and he tell you, oh, she better be good, boy. This is what she tells the man. She better be good. Because if she ain't, either I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna beat her, I'm gonna sell her off. Now let's be realistic here. As a woman, you know you don't want him, but you know this is your only option to survive or keep your kids or your husband, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, something's gonna come in your mind and say, damn, why does my husband let this man do this to me? Even though you know in your heart there's nothing you could, he can't do, there's nothing he can do to protect you. You still a human being. So in your mind, it's like, how is he letting this happen? And then as a black man too, sometimes we got to put ourselves in their shoes where he's looking at it like, okay, I know I got to get up, because there were plenty who fought back, but then you have to get up. And it's like, okay, he tells me she better be good, but he keeps doing this. You know, does she like this? At some point, you're going to say that because you're human. Think about it. And all of this, and it comes down to where sometimes a woman may say, oh, he can't protect me. We can check a brother with our mouth real quick. That comes from slavery. That comes from always just being mistreated. We can check a brother, but we haven't learned, all of us. Sometimes we don't have to check a brother all the time. Now that brother you just had up here, he need to be checked because he just wasn't getting no. Okay, it is what it is. But if you have a strong masculine man, sometimes you don't have to. If he's willing to let you, they call it soft era now, honey, but I was always down with the soft era. If you can take the lead, now don't lead me into the poorhouse. Now don't lead me to where we don't have nothing, okay? Now I ain't no,
You
we're
know,
not doing that.
I'm gonna say this. You see, I'm starting to set off a beehive in the comment section.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm all for a guy leading, but now if he just stupid, or if he don't have no experience, or he just, it's just things that we need to, overlook. But that stuff, bottom line is, that stuff still affects us to this day, and it didn't affect us as bad during integration. I mean, it was bad, but not as bad because
So
during
let me ask
excuse
you
me,
this. So,
not integration, segregation. Excuse me, segregation.
so you're saying the sister there in Sweetly Seasoned, that she's affected by post traumatic slave syndrome? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she wants everything for herself. Let's be clear. I don't want to see any. I mean, I'm sorry, I was going all over the place. I don't want anybody to lose their business, but at the end of the day, you didn't do what you were supposed to be doing, and she could have been blessed tenfold more if she would have just did what she needed to do. But that idea of cutting each other down, I got to be first, and that too comes from slavery, where if you told every single riot that not riot excuse me every single what revolt that we've ever had was because most of our own people have snitched on the other. So that's
And you
the
know what?
truth.
I will say this too. Because I've also studied Dr. Joy DeGruy as well.
Right.
I've actually given her books to quite a few people so they can understand her,
Mhm.
her masterpiece. That's what I call it. But I'm also under the pressure too that, yeah, we as a people do suffer from the effects of slavery. It's still a
Absolutely.
lot of remnants, but then there's just some people who just stupid. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And
Yes.
I just think that was that lady. I mean, because if you're not able to take in any other information, my God, it's like that post and the situation has been viewed by millions of people. And if she's
Absolutely.
turn the comment sections off now, but there were so many people, you're wrong, get the money back.
Mhm. Right.
Everybody was trying to tell her, and she, so it's
Right.
like, I, is slavery responsible for that, or is she just an
Well,
idiot?
just I think it's, again, I stand by it. I think it's just the post
Mhm.
traumatic slave syndrome. It's the effects. Of course, there's no slaves now, but there's that effect of, I gotta cut you down. I'm gonna get it before you get it. Things like that. I wouldn't now, some of that stuff, when you have the hood, black people are not that hood mentality and all that stuff. That stuff that came about after we integrated and all that. That comes from us not handling symptoms of post traumatic slave syndrome before. We were never hood. Even when I see people now, and I'm not here to judge anybody because I walked out of the house in my bonnet. Now I forgot about it, but I walked my behind right back in there because I was raised that it's a little different. But I had my mother and my dad and grandparents to kind of educate me a little more on, this is not who we are. What you see on TV or what they portray. So I do think what she did was absolutely wrong, but I just think that we do suffer from post traumatic slave syndrome in every aspect, even those of us who think we know more than, you know, anything, but we got centuries worth of programming. So as sad as it is to say, I'm not surprised. You know, I wish she would have done what she could have been doing, what she should have did, because if she did, she could have been successful because that was seen millions of times. That would have helped her business even more.
I agree, and I think, you know, again, it's highly, it's so unfortunate. Like I said, I look at the situation. I'm like, man, nobody could get any sense to you at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, like, where did it go? Let's comment go. Tawana. So there's an article about this story in the Hindu Times. The Hindu Times of all places, they talking about this. It's like, wow. You know what I mean? It was just, I think it just really just blows people away. Like, huh? You fumbled the fortune and future, really, of your legacy. You blew it over, you know, $2,000 essentially. You blew it.
And she could have made more. I think if she would have did it right, I'm telling you, she would have made a lot more. But that idea of I gotta do what I want to do, and you know, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And it's, even when I didn't look at everything that she said, but I looked at a piece of it. But even when I was listening to her, kind of, it's almost like she was justifying it a little bit, I guess, of what she did. But
a lot. She was, she was 10 toes down.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give that, you know, a little bit. I went all over, but if anybody, you know, cared, her, I would challenge anybody. I have a big following on Instagram with just history stuff. And I always encourage people to look at that too, because I find it funny that, you know, last week I was speaking with someone and, you know, the economy is really bad. I know this is not Wealth Wednesdays, but I have a problem when I see all these other people, they're getting together. They can actually live in a house together. But me and her were just chit-chatting for brunch. And she was like, girl, I ain't living with my own people. And I hear that all the time. We don't want to live with each other. And I told her, and I just asked just randomly, you know, we also talked about relationships. We're a little different on relationships too. But yeah, because, you know, it just, when you know better, you do better. And everything with a guy, this is just me. People may not like it. Now, I didn't say be stupid, ladies. Now, I did not say that. No. You got to stand up for yourself at all times. But they're just like when you know when to step up, you also got to know when to stand down. It's okay to let a man lead you. And let's be clear, because I have to say this because some people do know who I am. So I'm going to just say there's a difference between a black man and an F-boy. You don't let an F-boy lead. You let a black man lead. Okay, that's all. But if anybody has
100,
please look at Dr. Joy. You know, I would recommend anybody. Just sometimes and for a long time, it took me a while to really let things sink in. Even when my parents, you know, would talk to me about certain things. But she's great if you have an open mind. She's good and break everything down about our relationships with even our people. You know, not just with a man, but yourself and how you see yourself. So that's it. And thank you for having me.
And what's your Instagram page so people can follow you?
Oh Lord, they gonna come because something went viral today. It's More Threads _store. So more is spelled MOOR. Threads THREADS _store, because I have a business. The business is also ran under the store as well. But yeah, and more, everybody gets on me. It's not, no, more simply just means black. A lot of people don't understand that, you know, and so yes. So, but thank you for having me. And hey, Donovan, I'm sorry. I wanted to acknowledge you and say, hey, I don't want to just be mean. So thank you for having me.
I just found you. I'm going to follow you right now.
Oh, I sent you a message before, but it's been months and months and months ago.
She don't check her emails. She don't check her emails.
I really don't. But I'm gonna follow you right now. So you got it says More Threads and it's black, and you got about 112,000 followers. That's you?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna follow you right now.
Okay, yeah, I'll follow you back. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
You too. Bye-bye.
She was dropping some knowledge there. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and she. Why you didn't tell her you was a history major as well, Donovan?
Well, I mean, come on. I've got a lot of degrees in education. I don't want to brag.
I'm about to bring you up, Black America. Okay. Michael, well, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine today, Donovan. Dimitri Donovan. How about you guys?
We're doing well. What's on your mind? What you got on the conversation? You think Kim, a Sweetly Season, should get a second chance? Why or why not?
Like second chance in terms of like allowing like serving customers, you mean?
That was the question. What you come up here to add to say?
Yeah, so I was a little late. I just
You just clicked the link anyway, huh? Did you?
Oh,
What's on your mind?
yeah. Well, I do have. Oh, in terms of second chance, I'll answer that quickly. With her stealing, workers' tips, it's not right because her workers made her very successful. Without workers, she wouldn't be successful, and I think it's wrong. I'm not sure she should have a chance, but if I were the customer and she stole the workers' tips because of workers provide a good service to their customers, I probably would find another restaurant and find another restaurant to eat because it's illegal. It's not right. I know there are laws that says that employers cannot steal workers' tips, but the rest of the laws are not enforced. So I'll probably take my business like somewhere else. Because
So you're saying you don't think that she should have a second chance to open and get customers?
Well, I'm not. Well, I mean, it's just me. But if it becomes a pattern, like I kind of say, if she did it like 1 or 2 times, I'll let her pass. But if it becomes a pattern like more than 3 times, 4 times, because when she realizes that she wants to make a lot of money, make money like quickly, without like make money like fast, then I have a problem because without workers, she won't have a business or wouldn't be successful. And it's because she needs workers to produce, right?
Absolutely.
For waiters to take orders from customers, and kitchen staff, making the food. So it goes a lot into like having a good business where you have an owner and worker or the owner worker relationship.
Got you.
And go ahead. Sorry.
No. Yeah, we got it. We know how it works, brother. So is that all that you have to add on it?
Actually, I do want to add something.
Brother, quickly.
Okay. I sent Philip Scott an email and CCU and Donovan. There's how to get cash payment reparations for AB ADOS. So I connected FB and ADOS together because when you don't have AB, FBA ADOS together, it sends a wrong message to the American public. So I think it's better just add FB and ADOS together. So that way it's easier to make your message more specific.
You say FB and who together?
FB ADOS, Foundation of Black American Descendants of Slavery, to make it easy, because I see that a lot of Americans get very how do I say this? Like they get very hostile. They're like,
oh, well, let me say this to you. I think you emailing the wrong people about that.
Oh, no.
You emailing the wrong people about that. So you might need to, take that up with those, the people who are at the helm of those organizations, if you will.
Yeah, but very quickly, I saw you got my email. I also CC to Philip Scott. There's a way how to get cash payment reparations for American Descendants of Slavery, or FB ADOS. So I know the number to the former congressman. His name is, as I mentioned last week, J.C. Watts. If you want his phone number, because J.C. Watts has the inside game of politics. So he knows whom to reach out, and also I believe he knows Joe Biden like very well. They used to work together in Congress. I know Joe Biden used to be a senator, and J.C. Watts was a House of Representative.
We gonna check. I'll look into the email. You said you sent it to me. Whatever the case is, but
I got it. Unfortunately, Michael, you got to understand the Black community. Because J.C. Watts was a Republican, he is not very popular within the Black community, unless a lot of people are waking up now with the younger people. But in the 90s, when J.C. Watts was fairly new, remember J.C. Watts was a football player as well.
Yes, I read his biography.
Yeah. When he became a Republican, he was shunned by the Black community because, once again, if you're not a Democrat, oh, how dare you? Oh my God! Oh, you're not. What do you mean you're not voting for Clinton? What do you mean you're not voting for Obama? That's how our community gets down. So he's kind of an outsider looking in. So a lot of people don't give him the respect that he deserves. That's our generation and up. The younger generation would probably have a little bit more respect for him, what he was trying to do in his time.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, that's how the Black community works. you know?
Right, I understand. Right. The point, yeah, yeah, I understand. But the point I'm trying to make is about reparations because remember you and I did. I mean, the
Michael,
first.
I don't mean to cut you off,
Sorry.
but you come up here every time and change the subject, and and we like talking about reparations. We really
Okay.
truly do, but that ain't what we talking about right now.
I know. But
We
right.
appreciate you though.
I understand. I figure.
Thank you.
I just figured that you want substance to be.
Well,
included.
we trust me. We got it covered. Trust me.
Okay.
We got it. But I'm gonna drop you
Yeah.
back down to the comment
you.
section. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Black America, long time no see.
Don't be trying to look at me. I seen you. Hello, Miss D. What's up, Donovan? How are you today? I just got a couple of things to say. No, she shouldn't get a second chance. It's greed, and anytime the green head of greed pops up, it should be smited swiftly. So no, she shouldn't get a second chance. And to Miss Average Logical Thinker, I think that's her name. I just want to make a quick. The lady was up here saying the R word over and over again, and she may not understand that I consume a lot of YouTube. Okay, like seriously, I'm a truck driver, so I'm consuming YouTube for about 15 hours a day in a truck, and it's very few words that will get people's channel looked at, and the R word and the R word is one of those. So I was
you know, you're right, and I didn't really say any because it was kind of hard to hear it, but then I kind of was like, oh, okay, so you're saying the R word. But I agree with you. That is one of the words we really cannot say here, even though we're not saying anything negative per se. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. You can cuss up. Believe me, Obsidian. This might be risky. The lead attorney. I watch all of these shows. It's very much cussing going on, but as far as like last year, the pandemic. You can't say the C word. You can't say the R word. You can't talk about Catholic priests or the small hat community. It's certain
getting rid of your baby, you know, that type of thing.
No, well, you can't say that. You can say that.
Barely.
But you can say it. But if Donovan went on his show and talked about it, they would have a little bit of a problem. So it's just certain things that you can't say. So I wasn't trying to, I said, hey, please stop saying the R word on YouTube. She was like, why you tell her to say that? I'm like, shoot, listen, you are the only woman's channel that I am a subscriber to and that I would even look at. Like, because most women don't talk about anything of substance.
Well, so I don't know if that makes me feel better, good. I'm honored.
I come up here to talk shit to you. I don't come up here to be your friend all the time. Okay, I do. As far as you guys, I have to keep you in check too. I got to give you a little bit of bitter with the sugar. Now, come on. But I don't like to see any of our people that even if I don't agree with them all the time, that is mainly trying to do the right thing. I don't want to see anybody's channel to get striked or stricken down. Shay Sharday just had her channel took down for a whole week.
Really?
because the ladies, in the background went in there and mass complained on her. So you don't want, like I said, it's certain words, and unfortunately that's one of them. Even though she was using it in a talking about a historical context, somebody might be offended by it. You can call somebody a fat chick, with the B word on there, but you use that word, that people get offended. The YouTube people get offended.
Yeah, trust me. I know there's a lot. It's weird, like you said, certain things you can say, and it's like, wow, you can say that, but then you say you know, something else which you didn't think was that big of a deal, and they talking to you about it. Trust me, I've gotten talked to before, so
Right.
I know. Well, so what else is on your mind? Is that all you have to say? You just kind of want to come up here and give a clarification?
Yeah, I mean, you know, man, y'all been running around the mulberry bush, all this political stuff for the couple of weeks. I mean, I dig it, but you know, at the same time, it's where your channel, and what's led on your heart. So, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I still pay attention. I just watch you and move on. I just don't have it too much input on it. I had a bunch of smoke for y'all last week. I don't know what it was about now, but you know,
it wasn't that big of a deal then. You don't even remember.
Oh, it was huge. I was mad. I actually thought about taking notes. Well, I was saying, because I got it. y'all had me upset.
Are you going to be in Vegas next weekend?
If
Super
you
Bowl,
coming,
right?
I will. Yeah. I'll be here.
Wow.
Donovan, don't do all that, bro. Don't do all that.
No, I'm about to choke. I was drinking some hot tea, and I had to choke when you said that.
Hey, and Miss D with the young man. Just say no. Just like no. I mean, no. You're trying to be nice about it. You're trying to be. See, young men like that.
Wait, what you heard him say? I said no 6 times.
Yeah, I know it's no, and then like a hang up or a delete, like because it gets to a point to where it's aggravating to me because it's aggravating to me because you a woman my age, right? And he could be like actually our kid, and I'm sorry, GP. I hope you're listening, brother. I told you before, it's something wrong with you. Like, I don't know if an old grandma touched on you or something like that. You got to stop it, bro. It makes you look bad. It's almost into a lane of simping that I've never even seen before. It's almost that Donovan Donovan be cheering him on and stuff, but he know that it's horrible. You know, I bet you Donovan be laying in bed at night laughing. He'd be like, "Boy, that dude is something."
I like his persistence, because sometimes persistence does pay off, but you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. That's all. But Demetria does have a daughter.
And once again,
she's too old for him.
Right, and he don't know when to hold them or fold them. That he needs to be put down harshly. I mean it, because we as men we have to have those scars. You know, that's how we learn. Is anytime we fall off of a bike, we learn that we can't do that anymore. You are a bike that he didn't even get to ride on and he fell off. He has to be put down. So I don't know how you're gonna do it. You better come up with formulate a plan or something.
He said that was the last
Donovan,
time.
No, but it's not. Listen, I was in love with a girl once, and I waited for about 10, 15 years to hit the cheeks. It's there is no time limit on trying to smash. Okay, I'm all of the ladies. If you can hear my voice, if you think you got a friend, that dude is waiting in the wings for one screw up, one encounter, or anything. There is no time. There's no statute of limitations on deleting somebody. There is no statute of limitations on a man trying to get the cheeks from a woman. There isn't. I still got a couple I'm waiting on. So I'm just being honest with you. The problem is you women don't have men that are being honest with you. That's honesty.
And maybe when I'm 90, I'm like, all right, sonny.
And he will blow the cobweb off of that joint and get right to it. We're sick. Men are sick. We're sick puppies. Donovan is laughing because he knows we're sick.
30
you know,
years,
so
with 30 years of waiting on her little sister, and I'm gonna sit and wait.
You see that? He's gonna sit and wait because that's what she could be 70, 80. All right, I'm ready, so I can go ahead and get your unemployment and your retirement. And he's gonna say, hell yeah, let's jump the broom. Like right now, let me get it in. Because us men will wait that long. That's all we know is search and destroy. So you're gonna have to put him down. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I pray it's gruesome and it's a bloodbath once it happens.
You trying to get me hunted down?
You got Donovan in your corner.
I'm gonna continue to be nice. He said it was his last time. He's gonna go on to not greener pasture, but he's gonna go, find him a nicer, older, younger lady. Yeah. So I take him at his word. I believe he's done.
Okay. And once again, I hope he's listening. GP, get in the gym. Worry about yourself. Lose the weight. Stop being a fat, self-conscious little boy. And
that's not
he
nice.
is. I'm a guy. I don't have to be nice, Miss D. I have to be cordial. I didn't call him a fat ass. I said stop being a fat boy. Get and try and kill some game in your own age range. Because women probably past 25, 26, bro, they are out of your league. So you got to get your money up. Stop telling people about your traumatic past with going to jail for something that wasn't even a felony. Like all of this stupidness. You got to get all of this stuff out. You need a mentor. Go to a barbershop, just like I told Michael. No, his dad did something wrong. Is that because if his dad was saying something right, he wouldn't even be talking to you like this. You see what I mean? Like, how you gonna talk to somebody your mama age?
And that's I'm really his mom. I'm shoot. If I was being naughty a lot sooner in life, he could almost be my grandson.
All right, now that's a bridge too far. I love you guys. I'm gonna talk to you later. Yeah, because you're approved. You talking about getting it in. Stop playing. Right. All right.
I'm approved. You ain't lying.
Yeah, I know. All right, y'all have a good day. Enjoy the rest of y'all time. But yeah, that lady shouldn't get no second chance. Even though I believe Keith Lee is a bum, like how he didn't go to no school to become no food tester or nothing like that. Any opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one. Just because he gets on the internet and got a bunch of stupid kids following him, that don't make you somebody. I'm sorry, it doesn't.
Well, all right. Thank you so much, Black America. Enjoy yourself and be safe out there at the Super Bowl weekend.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I got the Super Bowl experience all week. I didn't even know what time it is. What week it is. I've been busy. So, all right, you guys have a good one.
Thank you, you too. Come and see us again.
Bye-bye. Come again. All right. Love y'all. See y'all later.
You too. All right. That wasn't too bad, was it?
No, he dropped some knowledge. He's always dropping some knowledge for the show. There's nothing wrong with having our good friends come on and state their opinions and stuff. It's a different opinion, but it's an opinion.
All right. So we got about 30 minutes left here ish. I want to tell y'all the Grammys is coming on. I don't ever watch the Grammys. I don't even have the ability to watch the Grammys, but damn it, I'm going to pay to watch the Grammys tonight because my girl, Victoria Monet, is nominated for 7 Grammys, and I love me some Victoria Monet.
Is she going to show a nipple?
No, she's not. She's going to do any of that, okay? She's a mother. And I saw her in concert and everything. She's a wonderful young lady. She's a great songwriter, a great talent, and I just love her. So I'm rooting for her, and I'm going to watch because I want to see her win. Her daughter, Hazel, is the youngest nominee in Grammy history to be nominated for a Grammy on a song called Hollywood with her mother, Victoria Ann Earth, Wind and Fire. Beautiful song. So she's, on the end of that song, she was nominated because of that song. So it's going to be exciting to see if she's going to win. I'm telling y'all, she has a song, On My Mama, On My Hood. That's the song y'all know of mainstream. But Victoria's actually been around for, I think 14 years. And she's was most notably known as Ariana Grande's songwriter. But then, she did her own stuff. Didn't really get mainstream per se until, On My Mama came out. But if you listen to her work, I mean, to me, how can I say this? She is one of those rare songwriters and producers that really just knows what they are doing. And trust me, I don't watch award shows, but I am going to watch for her. I'm really rooting for her. She's a great person.
Oh, you know what? I mixed her up with that one girl that was at the Essence Festival last year, the year before last. She dresses like a boy, but now she's trying to show a little bit more sexuality, and she kind of was twerking and stuff at the Essence Festival. You know what I'm talking about? She's an actress too as well.
No, but
it was Monet, but I forgot what kind of Monet.
Oh, we're talking about Janelle Monáe.
Janelle Monáe, that's what I was thinking.
No. This is Victoria Monet. Attorney. I agree with the Grammys and garbage, but I like Victoria, so I want to see her win. She's a humble spirit. She's just a really all-around good person. I really love everything about her. And I like her story because she fought to get here. You know what I mean? Fought to get where she is, the recognition for her being, just a great songwriter, great person. Her album Jaguar 2, that's the one that's nominated, if you will. But check her out. She has a lot of songs with Lucky Day and just a great person. So that's why I'm watching Victoria Monet. But anyway, let's get to the gentleman that you have behind you there, Donovan. It's Carl Weathers. Most notably, I think most people knew him from, I think it was Rocky IV, the movie when he fought, was it Drago? And when Drago says, I will break you. But my favorite scene in the movie is when it was James Brown was, I live in America, and he's eye to eye. He up there dancing with that outfit that you got on the background. He's dancing. And Drago was like, what the F is going on here?
Bang.
Yeah, he's like, this is a spectacle. That's how he's looking, right? And, Apollo, he's up there. He's, James Brown and all of that. Of course, we know what happened, after that scene. But that's one of my, my most memorable roles from him, obviously, right? Apollo Creed. With the Rocky franchise, and somebody sent me Sylvester Stallone, which I like Sylvester Stallone. Okay, I like his story. I've always liked him because he's a fighter as well. But somebody sent me his Instagram when he was talking about him, and he was pretty broken up about it. He says, "I'm just destroyed behind this. He was my friend. We've known each other for a very long time, and he's like, I don't know what to do now that he's gone." And he says, this is gonna basically bother me forever. So that kind of touched me to see, him being so moved, and a lot of people being moved by him. But Donovan, what was your favorite movie with Mr. Weathers?
Well, he's had a lot because he's a prolific actor. He's originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, my home state, my birth state, sorry. And he's been in a lot of movies. I mean, if you go back into the 70s, he was in was that The Eagle Has Landed, a lot of these great movies, the big blockbuster type movies back in the day. But Carl Weathers, how many of you guys remember the episode of Good Times where JJ was painting the portrait of his wife? And you're going to see at the end of the episode a young Carl Weathers come in there and about to bust JJ up. And, he's got the picture and he was like, okay, whatever. That's one of the first times you saw him. You got to remember he played for the Oakland Raiders for 2 years under John Madden. So this guy comes from a football background. Guess who else played professional football? There's a lot of actors that come out of the sports realm that become actors. John Amos, he played professional football for a couple of years before he got into acting. So we've got a bunch of great actors that were former athletes. But one of my favorite Carl Weathers movies of all, man, he's got a lot of them, but of all time, I loved him in The Heat of the Night when he took over after, what's his name, got fired and stuff. But Predator, when he played Dylan. I mean, come on, that was iconic because think about it. Everybody always equates Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed with Sylvester Stallone. And then here you see Carl Weathers with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, these are the two action heroes of the 80s. And then you're going to see how they interact. And to me, that was my best movie. You get his arm cut off and how they treated him as an outsider. I mean, he acted his ass off in that role. But then in the Rocky franchise, Howard Rollins was the guy in Heat of the Night TV series. But I loved him in Rocky 3 when he trained Rocky. And I didn't like how they did his character, though, how they made him have illegitimate children in the Creed series. I didn't like that. But anyway. But in the beach scene, I loved when he was running with Rocky and like training him. And he was like, "What's the matter with you?" And he's like, like it's over, trying to get them together and stuff like that. I mean, he put in some very, very powerful acting in that series. And he's in a lot of stuff if you guys really look up his stuff. And Happy Gilmore, another iconic movie. I don't really like Adam Sandler, but I like that movie because of
Action Jackson.
Yeah, Action Jackson. I liked it, but not really because I was kind of in the military at that time. I think Action Jackson came out when Desert Storm was out or something like that. So I kind of missed it in the theatrical release. So
Vanity.
Yeah, Vanity and Sharon Stone.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, that was he was up there in age in his 70s. I mean, that's not old, so I don't know what happened to him, if he was sick or whatever the case is, but definitely a great in Hollywood, I would say. But yeah, that was my favorite scene from him. And I looked at the scene, and I'm like, that's kind of indicative. Well, maybe not indicative of Black people, and I don't want to get myself in trouble, but he up there partying and playing, right? And Drago's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do something bad to him." He up there, even when Rocky came out, they were looking like, "Okay, all right." And then, of course, y'all know what happened after that. But yeah.
Well, what about that scene with Clubber Lang? Get out my ring, fool! I don't want no has-been in my corner. He was dogging him out.
Right. Oh, they say he passed away in his sleep, Star Child. Okay, yeah, I hate to hear that, but.
And I believe he's about 2 years older than my mom, so he's about 75, I think it was.
Yeah, he was up there because I know Sylvester Stallone is up there too, right? He's got to be. Let's see. They said so he was, I guess, 75, about 75. Mm-hmm.
But what's really sad about all of this? All of these great icons that we grew up with, Demetria, because okay, if you look at our parents' generation, a lot of our parents didn't really have, they had TVs, but they couldn't watch TV like we watch TV and stuff. But for those of you guys that remember this, I love the Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone that came out in 1959. I love the first 5 seasons, right? I love the whole thing, but the first 5 seasons.
So funny. I'm watching that now. I started watching it last night.
Yeah, the first 5, you got Jack Warden. You got all these great stars in there that went on to become huge stars later on. But now we're seeing these stars getting older, like Jimmy Walker. You see him. Thelma looks good for her age, but you see them graying out. And I'll give you a better example. Brad Pitt now, he's getting older. He's showing his age and stuff like that. And you're seeing these people moving on and doing that. But, in our minds, in these movies, there will always be, look at his body, even at 75 and how he was in the movie of Rocky and Predator and all this. The guy was built. The guy was jacked. You're like, yeah, that's how I would like to, to get my build going on or whatever the deal is. And then he's 75, 76 years old now. And, he's passing away. These icons are passing away. And if you really think about it, when I look at movies nowadays, I really can't name any great Black young actors, especially on the men's side. I'm seeing a lot of African descent actors coming out. Have you guys noticed that? In a lot of movies, they're hiring a lot of Africans or people that aren't really ADOS type people in these movies. Even in football and the sports, look at their last names. What's happening? They already ran us out of baseball, so... again, I'm seeing these guys, passing away, and I'm like, damn.
Well, they said he took care of himself, and that's the other thing too. We just never know. You know what I mean? We never know, which is why I'm one of those people that feel like we should just live life to the fullest. Of course, you want to be wise and be cautious, but you never know. You might, God forbid, go to sleep tonight and today be your last day, you know? So it behooves us all to live the life that we are supposed to live. Try not to worry and stress. I know we have stress and worries in life, but don't let it ruin your life. One of the speeches that I really love was that of Steve Jobs. And when he first found out that because he had a bout of cancer twice. First time he found out, you know, he said he basically decided to live life. And he said he made it a habit to go to the mirror every day and say, if today was your last day on earth and you knew it, what would you spend it doing? And he says, whatever you come up with, do that. Do it today. Don't wait till you retire or you get this or that. Do it today. Whatever that is that you would do if you knew it was your last day, do it now, because you never know. It may be your last day, right? As I always say, the one thing I do not want to leave here with is regret. I don't want to be on my deathbed or, you know, rocking chair as a super, super old lady and say, dang, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Only if I would have just, and why didn't I? Donovan, and not that thing me and you always talk about, okay? Not that. But yeah, you know, live today as though it was your last day. I mean, honestly, because it could be. And so Pastor Laura, how you doing? And I have one more question. Did I say we was going to ask this question before we leave? Somebody asked me to ponder this with you all. Easy, you want a Twilight Zone date? I'll think about it. Somebody asked me to ask y'all this because they saw it somewhere. If a man proposes to a woman and she says no, is the relationship over?
Absolutely, yes. It's over. Done. You're wasting your time.
Why? Why is it over? If you don't mind me asking.
Wait, so ask me the question again.
Oh, so you propose to a woman and she says, "Nah, I'm good." Is the relationship over?
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you, in my opinion, it's over for the simple fact that it's not gonna go any farther than what it is. The goal is supposed to be to get married. So if she's not gonna marry me and get to that, I'm wasting time. So I might as well find me somebody that will.
Got you. Okay, so I'm seeing everybody. A lot of people saying yes. And then Ms. B said, "Never give my all to a job." Okay, and then let's see here. Easy is saying no means no. You also say yes, it's over. Ooh, everybody's saying I think so. Kathy, and how you doing? If I didn't already, attorneys say marriage is the end goal. Star Child says they don't want you, plain and simple. Okay, Dwayne says we are on different pages. Damon says every day is your last day up until you transition. Yep, you better believe it. So y'all say
don't burn candles at both ends, because you know you're living your life like every day is your last day. That's where a lot of us get it messed up. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Don't go out there, swinging from, electrical wires or nothing like that. Just like live life. Life is really too short. I was 15 yesterday. Okay. I'm 21 now. And it just that fast. It like time is, it just like, where did it go? Right. So we have to learn to just really just do it to it. Not to that, but to just do it to it. You know what I mean? Got to get out there and say, why not? Why not? Do it. Whatever it is. Or try to do it. You can travel. Or just do stuff. That takes for us to get outside of our comfort zone. We have to do it. One thing I'll say about Donovan is, and I learned this from Donovan as well. Donovan don't have a problem getting up out of his comfort zone. He'd be like, all right, be back. Where are you going? To the moon. They had a spare, I found a discount on the spaceship going to the moon, so I'll be back. Really? So I've learned to be adventurous from Donovan. Like, just, what are we doing? Let's go. So, I mean, that's really all I have to say, because we just never know. When people go to sleep, close their eyes and wake up down there, up there, I don't know. I'm sure they didn't plan on that happening. Now imagine if they knew that, you know, or we were able to talk to them on the other side, I'm sure they would say, man, I sure was going to make that pot of greens. You know, I didn't get around to doing it or whatever. Also, I tell you guys all the time, Les Brown, who's a motivational speaker and has been around for a long time, he always talks about how the wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard. He says because there's people who have died with ideas, dreams, and plans, and all these things that they wanted to do, but they didn't do. They took it with them. And I believe, now I know I ain't trying to get religious because I know how that goes. Now I know there's a lot of things people say that is the greatest sin. To me, I think the greatest sin is not to live the life that you were put here to live. That's what I think the greatest sin is, just to be riding, as they say at work. None of you ever work somewhere and be like, I'm just riding the clock. You know, I'm just riding the clock.
Being in the military, dealing with federal workers, you see that a lot.
Right. I'm just riding the clock. Hey, Melvin, I'm just riding the clock. We ain't put in on this earth to just ride the clock. I'm just here. Well,
true story, and I want people to understand this. True story, Dimitri. Remember when me and Dimitri were talking like several years ago, maybe over 8 years, I don't know when it was. It was a long time when we first started doing the podcast. And we were talking about Africa, and Dimitri tells me, oh, you know, one of my dream places to go is go to Africa. And then remember I asked you, I said, well, why don't you just go? Oh, well, you know, this, that, all these excuses, you know, it wasn't the money issue. It wasn't this. Well, I don't want to go by myself. You know, I'm going to a different country. And that's another thing about us. We talk about this Pan-Africanism and Afro this and Afro that, but yet nobody goes to Africa because you're technically afraid. You're afraid to go. And so me and Dimitri were talking, and she's like, oh, you know, all these little excuses. I was like, well, just go. What are you waiting for? What's happening? And then, you know, she went away. I think like the next week you came back, we were doing the podcast. And then she was like, you know what? You're right. Let's just go. And you know what we did, you guys? We just got on the plane. We planned it, whatever, got on the plane. It was that far from the time that we were talking about it, that we just got on the plane and we went. And that was one of her dream trips to go to. And what did Walter tell you in regards to that? Because, you know, a lot of people look at this stuff and be like, oh, well, no, you shouldn't go, you know, whatever. What did he tell you?
He said, go. He says, because you never know if you'll ever have an opportunity to do it again. And Walter's like that too. Walter's like, oh, we going to the, what was the name of that thing that went to the bottom of the ocean and didn't make it back?
Yeah, the Titanic.
No, the ocean thing, that little submarine that went down there.
Ocean Gate.
Ocean Gate. Walter might have been on Ocean Gate. That's how adventurous Walter is. Oh, Ocean Gate? Are we going down to where no man has ever gone before? Yeah, I'm with it. So yeah, Walter was like, go. So I did, and I'm glad that I did. And you know, I like to travel now. You know, I traveled before, don't get me wrong, but I like to go.
Going from San Bernardino to Riverside is a 13-mile difference, and there's, you know, we're right on the border. Dimitri, going to San Bernardino is not traveling.
Right, yeah, you got to get past, you know, San Bernardino, you know. But yeah, and that's all I really, you know, want to leave y'all with. Just
yeah, you know, and I just remember telling her, I didn't, you know, when I invited her, you remember that when I invited you, and I told you I didn't ask you what it costs. I said, do you want to go? So again, I'm not telling ladies just go with some stranger. That ain't what I'm telling you guys to do. But you, like you said, you don't know when the opportunity is going to present itself. And it was like, okay, we're going to go. And then guess who else went? Your daughter went, which was a good experience. And as you guys know,
you ain't been able to get rid of her since.
She reminds me, it's time that we got to go on a trip. I'm like, what? But the point is this, for all you ladies, as much of an alpha male that I am, anybody that knows me will tell you, I invest in women because women are the first teachers. And Dimitri's daughter, because she has that international travel, Dimitri as well has an international travel, she will pour that into her children one day, or her nieces or her nephews or whatever. And that is how we make the diaspora better, more knowledgeable, whatever. Because now when we talk about Africa, we can't talk about what we saw on TV or what somebody told us. We can say we were there. We saw it. We were on the soil. And that's why we try to tell people travel. You don't know when it's, when your last days are going to be here, especially if you're like me and you're in your 50s now. There's a report that says people in our generation are dying at a faster rate than any generation before it. Why? Our diet, all that so-called weed and drugs that you do that ain't supposed to hurt you, but it does, such and such and such and such and such and such. So again, not saying go out there with a stranger, but the thing is, if the opportunity presents itself, go. Look, you ain't worried about the rent. When the rent is due, you're still getting your hair and your nails done. So why are you worried about the trip?
Damn right, sucker. So anyway, we're gonna get out of here because I'm on to see if Victoria Monet is gonna win the Grammys. And y'all don't listen. I never even watched the awards, but like I said, I really do love her, rooting for her. Y'all should check out her body of work. I think she's 33, 34. So but she's a songwriter, I believe, ahead of her time. But anyway, we'll be back Tuesday again, y'all. And thank you, Mike. Y'all send some prayers to Donovan and his sweet dog Belle and her full recovery. We are hoping that Belle recovers fully because, oh boy, I just can't imagine my friend without his dog.
And don't get me wrong, I know people are in the chat saying, you should let it go. No, it's not the idea that I don't want to let the dog go. And Demetria knows me. I've been around death most of my adult life. It's no problem. When people die, you won't see a tear shed out of my ear. But, my dog is my retirement dog. And you got to understand, this dog, it isn't like I went to work for 5 hours and half of the dog's life I wasn't there. This dog has been with me every day. We wake up together, we walk together, we go to sleep together. She's with me constantly, that constant companion. So it's that type of relationship. And not that I will let her go, but the thing is, I'm not going to let her go. If she's in pain, I'm going to let her go. There's no doubt about that. I'm willing to do that. But I'm not going to let her go until everything that could be done for her is done for her, so that she can, when she goes, I can go knowing I have a clear conscience about it. So I have no problem letting her go, but I'm not going to let her go just because I'm inconvenienced. Oh, she's paralyzed. I don't want to take the time to do the things I need to do. So I want you guys to think about this. And it's very sad. Our parents get in an older condition, and a lot of our parents go through things because they didn't prepare, unfortunately, and then they want to, you to take care of it and stuff like that. So you mean to tell me you were going to go in there, and because you're inconvenienced, you would put your parent down, or because it's an inconvenience to you? No, you should try everything that you can do before those decisions have to be made. So I'm going to do everything I can to do it, and I'm going to do right by the dog, period.
Absolutely. So anyway, we'll see y'all back here on Tuesday. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay cool, warm, or wherever you are. So until then, peace.